కార్యక్రమంపై మీ అభిప్రాయాలు తెలియజేయగలరు. యూట్యూబ్ www.youtube.com/c/dd Saptagiri.
స్క్రీన్ మీద కనబడుతున్న QR కోడ్ ని స్కాన్ చేయడం ద్వారా DD సప్తగిరి యూట్యూబ్ ఛానల్ ని వీక్షించగలరు. మరిన్ని అప్డేట్స్ కోసం DD సప్తగిరి యూట్యూబ్ ఛానల్ ని సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేసుకోండి.
ఈమెయిల్ ddsaptagiri@gmail.com. ఫేస్బుక్ www.facebook.com/dd Saptagiri. ట్విట్టర్ twitter.com/dd Saptagiri VJA. ఇన్స్టాగ్రామ్ www.instagram.com/dd Saptagiri.
Hello children, very good evening. Welcome all of you to Doordarshan Saptagiri-Vidya Varadhi program. This is T. Srinivas, School Estate English, Jilla Parishad High School, Mangalapuram, Krishna district. Before going to start our proceedings, let us begin with Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat. So, what is the essence of Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat? What is this program intended for? We all know ours is a very big country. In our country, we have so many religions, so many costumes, so many languages. So, whatever the diversities we have, the soul of India is one. So, we are all one. We are all, though we have so many diversities, we have unity, unity in diversity. That is the essence of Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat. So, let us see the essence and the objectives of Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat. Look at the screen, all of you. So, Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat, it aims at to celebrate the unity in diversity of our nation and to maintain and strengthen the fabric of traditionally existing emotional bonds between the people of our country. What does it mean? Unity in diversity, to celebrate the unity in diversity. That is the one of the motives of Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat. Next one, to promote the spirit of national integration through a deep and structured engagement between all Indian states. So, we have so many states, though we are different states, but we are all one, we are all one country, we are all one nation. So, to promote that spirit. Next one, to showcase the rich heritage and culture, customs and traditions of either state for enabling people to understand and appreciate the diversity that is India, thus fostering a sense of common identity. So, the key word here is common identity. We all have common identity, that is, we are all Indians. So, irrespective of the state, irrespective of the religion, irrespective of the language we have, irrespective of the food habits we have, irrespective of the festivals we have, irrespective of the food habits we have, irrespective of the costumes, whatever the difference we have, we are all one. That is the spirit of common identity. Next one is to establish long-term engagements and to create an environment which promotes learning between states by sharing best practices and experiences. This is one of the important features, that is sharing best practices and experiences. So, in Andhra Pradesh, we have some practices, we have some good teachers, we have some good teaching practices. Similarly, in Punjab also, we have some good teaching practices. So, what is happening here? We have an opportunity by this mission, by this project, we have an opportunity to share the best practices of Andhra Pradesh with the best practices of Punjab state. So, Punjab is the associate state for us in this Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat, and this gives us an opportunity to share the best practices, which will benefit our students community very greatly. That is the essence of Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat. Okay children, now the second thing is QR codes. Look at the monitor, all of you. QR codes. So, we have QR codes. QR codes are innovative technique. It is an innovative technique which has been designed and developed by our many states in our country, and this has been implemented in our textbooks also. In the recent textbooks, we have these QR codes. So, what is the use of these QR codes? In all the lessons, in all subjects, you have these QR codes. QR means quick response codes. by using a smartphone, you can scan this symbol and you can get information about the lessons you have in your textbooks. So, that is the importance of QR codes. Okay. Next thing is, third thing is COVID. COVID. We all know that COVID is a pandemic. It is slowly and gradually coming down in our state, not only in our state, but also in our country. So, we should be very cautious at this time. Do not think that it is coming down, so we can go out very freely. Particularly, this is the last day of the year 2020. So, you may all have planned to go outside and celebrate the end of the year and the arrival of the new year. So, while you are going outside, be careful. Why? Because we have a pandemic waiting for us outside. So, when you go outside for celebration, you also take care that there is a pandemic awaiting for us. If we are careless, definitely it is going to hurt us. So, do not give chance to that pandemic. Okay, children. Now, coming to my lesson today. In my last two classes, I have taken up some textbook lessons. In my first class in this Ap-Vidya Varadhi, I have taken up environment, and the next class I have taken up a poem. Now, I am going to take up a simple thing which is very important and also very easy to get marks in the examination. The topic is functional English. So, what is functional English? How is it related to our syllabus? What kind of questions we are going to get in our examination? Let us see, let us examine. So, first of all, functional English. What is functional English? Functional English means nothing but making suggestions, making a request, giving advice, asking information. These are all called as functional English. That means, what is the purpose of language? The purpose of any language is communication, develop communication skills. So, in order to have good communication skills, what should we have? We should have some polite expressions. Polite expressions on different things like asking information, making a suggestion, making a request, and apologizing, and then wishing. For example, tomorrow all of you might be saying one another, wish you a happy new year, like this. So, when you are wishing somebody, you are using functional English. As a matter of fact, our textbook is a combination of two kinds of syllabuses. What are they? One is structural syllabus, second one is functional syllabus. What is structural syllabus? What is functional syllabus? Structural syllabus is largely related to grammar. So, whatever the grammar elements we have is called as structural syllabus. It came along with the structural approach to English, into English. And next one is functional syllabus. What is functional syllabus? It is nothing but application of what we learn in the subject English in our day-to-day life. That means, applying the knowledge of English in our day-to-day life for conversations is called as functional English. It came with the evaluation of communicative approach. So, we have two kinds of syllabuses in our textbooks. One is structural syllabus, the other one is functional syllabus. So, as a matter of fact, I can say that structural syllabus is knowing about language, whereas functional syllabus is knowing language. So, both are important. We must know about language, at the same time we must know language. Know language means we must apply what we have learned in the name of English. We learn something from our textbooks, and what we have learned we have to use it in our day-to-day life. Particularly languages. Languages are context bound subjects, whereas structural syllabus is concept bound subject. So, concept bound, context bound. So, language is a context bound subject. So, contextually we have to use expressions, we have to use some polite expressions, we have to make conversations. So, while conversing, how we have to converse? We have to converse by using polite expressions, then only we will get respect. One of the greatest English essayists, A.G. Gardner, once said that. So, saying sorry, thank you, sure, like this, these polite expressions, while using these in our conversation, what will happen? These are just like engine oil to a machine. If you put engine oil to a machine, how do that machine work? It work very smoothly. And if you use expressions like thank you, good morning, sorry, if you use these expressions according to the context, what will happen? Others will get good impression on us. Okay. So, automatically our life will become very happy, our life will become very easy, our life goes very smoothly, we get due respect from others. So, this is a part of our syllabus, this is called as functional English. So, from this functional English, what kind of questions we are going to get in our examination? Let us see. All these elements, making a request, all these things are part and parcel of our syllabus, along with some grammar points, along with some structural syllabus. Now, let us examine how this functional English comes in our examination. In our 10th class examination, in paper 1 we have 3 questions. Those 3 questions are, one is making a request. He gives a question and asks you to change it into a polite request. For example, give me your pen. It appears very harsh, and he gives an expression like this and asks you to change it into a polite request. That means you have to use functional English here. You have to use some polite expression here. That is for 1 mark if it is 2 papers, for 2 marks if it is 1 paper. This is one type of question from functional English. Another question is that they will ask you to give an advice or make a suggestion. For example, suppose your friend is not wearing mask when he is going outside. So, he will give this context and ask you to advise him or make a suggestion, suggest him to wear a mask when he is going outside. How to make a suggestion? This is one more question. Same here also, you have 2 marks if it is 1 paper and 1 mark if it is 2 papers. Okay. And one more question is there. That means he gives you a context and asks you to pick up a proper expression for that context. For example, suppose your friend is going at an interview. What do you have to say? He gives options A, B, C. That means A will be I am very sad, B will be all the best, C will be goodbye. Then what is the right answer? When somebody is going at an interview, what we have to say? We have to say all the best, like this. So, like this we have 3 questions in our examination paper. Very easy. These are all actually easy pickings, very easy, but very, very important. And apart from these 3 types of questions, we have one more implication of functional English in our SSC examination, that is very, very important, that is creative expression, conversations. So, one of the creative expressions given in our examination in our syllabus is conversations, making conversations. They give you a context, that context could be mostly from our textbook lessons. We have 5 lessons this year. Out of those 5 lessons, they choose a context and they ask you to make a conversation between 2 characters. That means you have to write some dialogues. When you are making conversations, we call it as verbalized vocalization. Verbalized vocalization. You have to use these polite expressions. When we use polite expressions, when you make good conversations, what will happen? Social bonds will be established, and it will also help to strengthen the bonds. Okay. So, establishing bonds, strengthening bonds, reinforcing bonds. The key is using good functional expressions, good polite expressions. Now, I am going to give you these 2 types of questions. One is creative expression, the other one is the 3 types of questions that we have in paper 1. Okay. Now, all of you look at the monitor please. So, that is functional English, polite forms, conversations. So, under functional English we have polite forms and conversations. So, what are functional English? Making requests, giving advice, and then apologizing, wishing, all these things. Look at the screen. So, I have given some common expressions on functional English. Common expressions for making a request. What are the common expressions we have? So, we can make a request by using please. Suppose I want to take pen from my friend. How can I say? Please give me your pen. So, beginning with please we can say. Next one is could you please. You can also make a request using could you please. And the next one is would you mind. Would you mind giving me your pen? Next one, if you don't mind. If you don't mind, can I use your pen or may I use your pen? Next one, would it be okay if I? Would it be okay if I use your pen? That is one more expression. Can I take your pen? Will you give me your pen? Shall I use your pen? These are all the expressions. Okay. Remember children, functional English, this is creative English. There is no fixed expression. As long as the expression you use is correct, relevant to the context, that can be accepted. Okay. So, do not fix on to some fixed expressions on this creative expressions. So, while making request, you have all these options, you can make use of any one of them. The simple thing is using please there. Okay. So, this is about making request. So, first one is please. You can begin a request with please, or you can begin your expression with could you please. If you start your request with could you please, you have to end up with a question mark. Remember this thing. And would you mind, for this one also you have to end up with a question mark. If you don't mind, would it be okay if I? Can I? Will you? Shall I? These are all the common expressions for making a request. Okay, suppose I would like to take a situation, that means I want to ask some water. Please give me water. Could you please give me some water? Would you mind if I take your water bottle? If you don't mind, may I drink your water? May I drink water from your water bottle? Would it be okay if I take your water bottle? Can I use your water bottle? Will you give me your water bottle? Shall I drink from your water bottle? These are all the ways of making a request. So, next one is common expressions for giving an advice or making a suggestion. These are all a part and parcel of functional English. Remember children, I am discussing functional English, which is useful for us for our examination as well as for our day to day life usage. The first one we have discussed is making a request. Now we are requesting giving an advice or making a suggestion. How to make a suggestion, how to give an advice. So, these are some of the common expressions with which we can make an advice, or we can make a suggestion, or we can give an advice. Okay. First one, you should or you should not. Suppose we want other person to do, we have to use you should. We want other person not to do something, we have to use you should not. For example, somebody is not wearing mask, then what we have to say? We have to say you should wear a mask. Okay. Somebody is going outside without wearing mask, then what we have to say? You should not go out without wearing a mask. So, we can use either should or should not. Okay. So, this is the common way of giving an advice or making a suggestion. We can begin with you should or you should not. You should is for asking others to do something, you should not is asking others not to do something. Okay. Similarly, other expressions like this are you ought to, you ought not to. You ought not to go outside without a mask, you ought to wear a mask. Third one is you need to, you need not to. You need to wear a mask, you need not to consult a doctor. Suppose somebody he does not need to go and consult a doctor, then we can say you need not to consult a doctor. Okay. So, why don't you? Why don't you wear a mask while going outside? Next one, it would be better if you. It would be better if you wear a mask. It's better if you. It's better if you wear a mask. So, these are all the common expressions for giving an advice or making a suggestion. Once again, you should, should not. You ought to, ought not to. You need to, need not to. Why don't you? It would be better if you. It's better if you. I am taking a context that is wearing mask. You should wear a mask. You should not go out without a mask. You ought to wear a mask. You ought not to consult a doctor. That means wearing a mask is not relevant here for ought not to. That is why I have changed the dialogue. Okay. So, you need to wear a mask. You need not to consult a doctor. Why don't you wear a mask? It would be better if you wear a mask. It's better if you wear a mask. So, these are all the ways. These are all the ways of giving an advice or making a suggestion. Now, coming to another element of functional English, that is common expressions of greeting and wishing others, greeting or wishing others. For example, I have started my class wishing you all good evening children. So, that is a wish, and I think after 12 o'clock what do you say to your friends? You say wish you a happy new year. That is also a wish. When your teacher comes, what do you say? You say good morning or good evening. Or if it is your friend, what do you say? Hi, hello. So, these are all the expressions of wishing others or greeting others. Okay. Now, look at some of the common expressions we have for wishing others or greeting others. Hi, informal way. So, expressions could be formal, informal. Formal means more polite, informal means that is less polite. That means we can use informal expressions between friends. Suppose if it is elderly persons like teachers and some doctors, some great persons, you should not use informal or colloquial expressions. You have to go for formal expressions. Also, in our examination, we have to, in our conversations, we have to use formal expressions, not informal expressions. Okay, right. So, the expressions of greeting and wishing others are, so informal hi, hello. So, if it is wishing in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, or in the day, you can say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day. So, good day is applicable to all the day. Okay. Remember children, good night is not a, it's not an expression of wishing, it is the expression of leave taking. So, we do not wish people using good night. So, do you wish anybody using good night? No, we do not wish people by using good night. So, good night is an expression of leave taking, not an expression of wishing others. Okay. So, we can use good morning, we can use good afternoon, we can use good evening, we can use good day for wishing, or hi, hello, right. Next one, how are you? How are you is also an expression of wishing others. When somebody asks you how are you, what is your answer? What do you say? Very simple, I am very fine. How are you? and this could be used while writing your conjugations. That is why I have taken up these two things. One is these expressions, next one is conjugations, both are interrelated. So, you can make conjugations by using these expressions. Okay. So, you have marks for these expressions as well as conjugations where you use these expressions. Okay, children. So, how are you is a form of wishing others. When somebody asks you how are you, what do you have to say? You have to say I am fine, thank you. How are you? Right. Next one, how do you do? When somebody says how do you do, what is your response? Same, how do you do? Okay. When somebody says how do you do, you have to say how do you do. Right. Next one is WhatsApp. This is more informal. Okay, WhatsApp recently and the modern wishing, I think we can call it as. So, people nowadays they are simply cutting expressions and they are using in abridged versions. So, WhatsApp. Next one is wish you a happy. So, this is basing on situation, context. Okay, if it is a happy, if it is a birthday, wish you a happy birthday. For example, tomorrow, what do you say? Wish you a happy new year. Okay, marriage, wish you a happy married life. Okay, like that. So, these are all some common expressions of greeting or wishing others. Okay, children. So, these can be used very frequently in our day to day life, right. So, when we use expressions like this in our day to day life, what will happen, as I already mentioned, our life will become very easy, people will respect us. So, we have a saying in Telugu, if we use good, if our mouth is good, the entire village will become good for us. Okay. So, try to make use of all these expressions. Suppose while you are entering into class, your leg touches somebody, your friend. Okay. So, you ignore that and go and sit in your place, that is not correct, you simply say sorry. So, by saying a small expression, by using a small word sorry, you are not going to lose anything, moreover you are going to gain respect from your friend. So, make use of all these expressions in your day to day life, which will help you in your progress of life. Okay. Right. Now, coming to the leave taking expressions, all of you look at the screen please. So, these are some common expressions of leave taking. So, we have discussed about expressions of greeting, now leave taking. So, we have made a conjugation. After making conjugation, we are leaving. Before leaving, these expressions can be used. First one is bye, okay, informal, bye, cheer you, see you, these are all expressions of leave taking. Okay, bye. Next one is see you. Next one, good night. Next one, nice meeting you. It is nice meeting you. I am very glad to meet you. Glad to meet you can be used at the beginning or at the end of the conversation also. It could be used as wishing as well as leave taking. Nice meeting you at the end. Have a nice day. At the end of a good conversation, you can end up with have a nice day. That means you are wishing others in a positive way. It gives some positive vibrations, right. So, next one is see you later. That means you want to leave. Then you can use see you later, the expression see you later. So, these are all the expressions where you can use for leave taking. Once again, bye, see you, good night, nice meeting you, have a nice day, see you later. These are all the expressions for leave taking. Okay, children. Now, let us come to the expressions of apologizing. What is apology? Saying sorry. Suppose you want to say sorry, that means nobody wants to commit mistakes just for the sake of saying sorry. They happen. And unexpectedly when something happens, what you have to say, simply use an expression sorry, okay, that will pacify others, that will pacify the, what you can say, it will definitely help you. So, try use all these things, definitely your life is going to run very smoothly, children. Okay, right. So, common expressions of apologizing are sorry, I am sorry, forgive me, I beg your pardon, pardon me. So, pardon means sorry. In other words, pardon means sorry. I beg your pardon, pardon me. These are the expressions of apologizing. Okay, children. So these are some of the expressions under functional English. That means giving an advice, making a suggestion, making a request, wishing or greeting, apologizing, leave taking. These are some important areas where we can use some polite expressions. Okay, children. Now, coming to the examination point of view. Okay, so far you have discussed some expressions and how do they come in our examination. So, remember children, if it is up to 9th class, that is a different thing. When we are in the 10th class, along with the subject, we must also take care of our examination point of view. So, we have to gain knowledge and we have to apply, we should be able to apply that knowledge in our examination point of view. Getting marks are also very important for us in SSC. Okay, that is why I have given you content, and after that I have prepared some exercise on examination point of view. In the examination, basing on making a suggestion, they give question like this. As I told you, if there are 2 papers, it is for 1 mark. If there is only 1 paper, you will get for 2 marks. Very simple. These are all easy picking, children. Small concentration, little concentration will fetch you 2 marks here. Okay. Look at the first question. So, they give like this in the examination. Look at the first question. Your friend is frequently going outside during lockdown. Advise him not to go out frequently. So, that is the question. That means they provide you a context and ask you to supply a polite expression for that situation. Ask you to write an expression with politeness that can meet to the situation. That is the question. This is how they give in the examination in paper 1. Okay. So, question, your friend is frequently going outside during lockdown. Advise him not to go out frequently. What do you say? Can you guess? Already I have given you some expressions. In those expressions, what are the expressions what are the words we can use? You should or you should not. Here, to whom we are giving the advice? We are giving the advice to, we are suggesting our friend. So, we can begin with dear friend. So, the answer would be, dear friend, you should not go out during lockdown. You should not. Okay. Now, second question, your brother is not wearing mask when he is going to school. Advise him to wear mask when he is going to school. That means, here also we have to use you should not, you ought to, you ought not to, or why don't you, any one of the expressions which I provided you. So, simple and easy thing is should or should not. Okay, that is why I am saying answer with using should and should not. So, second question, your brother is not wearing mask when he is going to school. Advise him to wear mask when he is going to school. So, we have to advise him to wear mask. So, you should, dear brother, you should wear mask when you are going to school. That is the answer. Simple. Dear brother, you should wear mask. That is all. Third question, your friend is wasting time on watching TV. Advise her not to waste time on watching TV. That means important news, something like that, okay. But during examination time, watching TV is not advisable. So, what you have to say, you have to ask him not to waste his time by watching unnecessary programs on TV. So, how to advise? Here what you have to say, we have to advise him not to watch TV. That means, you should or should not? Should not. Okay. Dear friend, you should not waste your time on watching TV. That is the answer. Okay. So, if you want somebody to do something, you should. Not to do something, should not. Okay. Right. Now, fourth question, your friend is facing breathing problem. Advise him or her to do yoga to overcome his problem. Now, we have to ask him to do something. So, you should. Dear friend, you should do yoga every day to overcome your breathing problem. Simply, if you write, dear friend, you should do yoga every day, you will get mark. You should do yoga, that is the key there, should. Making an advice, you are using should or ought to, you will get mark, that is all. Next one, fifth question, your uncle is seriously ill. Advise him to take rest. We should ask our uncle to, you should ask your uncle to take rest. Dear uncle, so you should take rest, you ought to take rest. Why don't you take rest? It would be better for you if you take rest. These are all the expressions. Out of all this, choose the easy one and write it, you will get mark. Okay. The easiest thing in my opinion is using should or should not, or otherwise you can use ought or ought not. Okay, children. So, these are all very easy things. Do not ignore them, which are very easy, very essential, very important also. Okay. And try to use all these things in your day-to-day life also. Apply whatever the knowledge you have learnt. So, the importance of language learning is communication skills. These are all the part and parcel of communication skills. Try to use all of these things in your communication. Okay. Now, look at the answers. So, for the exercise I gave you the answers. Look at the answer for the first one. Dear friend, you should not go out frequently during lockdown. That is the answer for the first question. Now, second one, dear brother, you should wear mask when you are going to school. That is the answer for the second question. Now, the third question, answer, dear friend, you should not waste your time on watching TV. Fourth one, dear friend, you ought to do yoga to overcome your breathing problem. Fifth answer, dear uncle, you ought to take rest. You can also write, you should take rest. Why don't you take rest? It would be better for you to take rest. Okay, so you can use any one of those expressions. Okay, I have given simple answers, simple expressions. And as I already told you, children, don't think that these are the only ways of making these expressions, making these suggestions or advice. You can make use of your own expressions, provided they are approved by the society, provided they are approved by the grammarians. Okay, there are a number of ways in which you can express your feelings in English. That is the greatness of English language. Okay, these are some of the simple ways which I have shown you on the screen. Okay, so this is about making a suggestion, giving an advice. Similarly, I have prepared another exercise on request also. Okay, so I have given some contexts. Look at all those contexts. First one, the question is, change the following into a polite request. Change the following into a polite request. The questions are, first one, you to a stranger. They give like this in the examination. In your examination, you will find questions like this. Okay, you to a stranger, maintain social distance. That means which thing you have to change into a polite request? You have to change maintain social distance. The part of that question is maintain social distance. You have to change it into maintain. You have to change it into a polite request. Simple thing, just add please in front of it, it will become a request. Why? Because please is the expression, functional word which will make things a polite way. Okay, so the first question is, you to a stranger, maintain social distance. What could be the answer? Please maintain social distance. Could you please maintain social distance? The difference between please maintain social distance, could you please maintain social distance is that if you write with please maintain social distance, just put full stop at the end. Could you please maintain social distance, put a question mark at the end. Okay, don't think that sir, when you put a question mark it will become an interrogative sentence. How can an interrogative question becomes a request? So remember children, structural English is different from functional English. The structure of that sentence is a question, interrogative sentence, but the function of that interrogative sentence is making a request. Remember that thing. Okay, so here we are bothering about function, not the structure. Okay, so you can make it into a request by using please or could you please. Second question, you to a shopkeeper, give me hand sanitizer. How to change it into a polite request? First of all, which thing you have to make it into a request? Is it you to a shopkeeper or give me hand sanitizer? What is the expression you have to use here? The expression here you have to change is give me hand sanitizer, not you to a shopkeeper. I find many of the children changing you to a shopkeeper into a request. Please you to a shopkeeper. They write like this in the examination. That means easy thing, losing unnecessarily marks. So be careful while writing answers. So you to a shopkeeper is only the context. That is the context. The expression you have to change is give me hand sanitizer. Okay, so you have to change give me hand sanitizer into a request, not you to a shopkeeper. That is the context. So keep it in your mind. Okay, so the answer would be please give me hand sanitizer. Okay, right. Third one, you to a stranger. Where is the library? Here this is a question mark. Please tell me where is the library. That means when there is a question mark in the given expression, just write please tell me. Okay, or could you please tell me where the library is? Okay, now fourth one, you to a co-passenger in a packed bus, move a bit, please move a bit. That is the answer. You to your friend, give me your notebook home, please give me your notebook home. That is the answer. Okay, just have a glance at the questions, later I will show you the answers. You to a stranger, maintain social distance. You to a shopkeeper, give me hand sanitizer. You to a stranger, where is the library? You to a co-passenger in a packed bus, move a bit. You to your friend, give me your notebook home. The answers are, look at the answers. Look at the answers all of you once. Okay, already I have told you the answers. Please maintain social distance. Could you please give me a hand sanitizer? Look at the question mark at the end. Could you please tell me the way to library? Please move a bit. Please give me your notebook home. Okay, children? Right. So, these are the two types of questions you have in your examination under functional English. One more type is they give you a situation. For example, your friend is going to interview. What do you say? You say all the best. Suppose it is your friend's birthday. What do you say? Wish you a happy birthday or many happiness of the day. Okay. Suppose your friend is in the hospital. What do you say? Don't say I am very happy. Okay. When your friend is in the hospital, what do you have to say? You have to say get well soon. Get well soon. Simple expression. Okay. Suppose your friend is disappointed. Okay. What do you have to say? Better luck next time. Okay. Brave. Better luck next time. Don't worry. Leave it. These are all the expressions to encourage or console others. Okay, children. So, like this, one more question will come. That is very easy way because options will be given there. You have to choose the right option. Okay. Right. So, these are some polite expressions that comes in the examination, and after that the question related to these polite expressions are creative expression, that is a discourse. Okay, 5 marks question. So far I have discussed 1 mark questions, polite forms. Now I am going to discuss some creative expression, that is conversation. So conversation. Where did this conversation come? It comes in paper 1. If there are 2 papers, it is for 5 marks. If it is only 1 paper, conversation is there, it is for 10 marks, children. Very easy. How to make conversations? For example, we usually use all these polite expressions in this conversation. For example, we begin our conversation, hi, hi, how are you? I am fine, thank you. How are you? Where are you going? I am going to school. Okay. And which class are you? Which subject do you like most? Like this, you can extend your conversation, you can extend your dialogues, and you can write exchanges based on the context, and you will get marks there. Okay. Only thing is that you should be able to make use of all the polite expressions in your conversations based on the given context. Okay. So, in order to show you an example, in order to give you a small practice on how to make conversations using these polite expressions, I have chosen one context from last lesson, that is from my childhood. Look at the question on the blackboard on the screen. This is the context I have taken from the last lesson, from the last unit. Okay. Unity and diversity, last unit. In unity and diversity, the first lesson is my childhood, Kalam biography, okay, autobiography. So, from that lesson I have chosen this context. The question is, you have read the lesson my childhood. In that lesson, Kalam's father Jainuddin permitted Kalam to continue his studies away from home, but Kalam's mother Ashiyamma was reluctant to send her son away from home. So, that is the context. We all know that. So, Abdul Kalam was born in Rameshwaram. In Rameshwaram, there is only primary school, something like that, and after that he has to go for some college education. So, there is no college at that time in Rameshwaram. Kalam wants to pursue with the influence he has from Sivasubramanian, his teacher. He wanted to pursue his studies, higher education, college education. So, there is no college, high school study there in Rameshwaram. He has to go to a nearby town, that is Ramanathapuram. But his mother is very orthodox at the time. It is the mother's affection, we all know that. No mother like to send her children away from home. Similarly, Ashiyamma also, Kalam's mother Ashiyamma also, she didn't like to send Kalam away from home, whatever the purpose it is, whether it is for education or whatever, she didn't like to send him away from home. But Kalam's father Jainuddin was very practical man, we all know. He was a very practical man, and he encouraged Kalam to pursue his dreams. Whereas his wife Ashiyamma, that means Kalam's mother is not willing to send Kalam for higher studies, and Kalam's father is willing to send. Now, we have to make conversation between Kalam's father and mother, Jainuddin and Ashiyamma. So, what could be the conversation? Obviously, Ashiyamma is not willing to send her son home. Jainuddin is ready to send his son to higher studies. Okay, now we have to think about a context, we have to think about dialogues. Okay. So, how do dialogues come? Think at the situation. Here the situation is Ashiyamma is reluctant. She is not in a good mood where she can send her son away from home. Jainul-Abidin, being practical and knowledgeable, he wanted his son to go away and pursue his dreams. Now, what we have to think here, how Jainul-Abidin is going to convince Ashiamma, and how Ashiamma is going to be very reluctant in not accepting her husband's dialogues. So, this is the context. So, basing on this context, what we have to do, we have to prepare some dialogues. So, this is a 5 marks question. So, for 5 marks question, there should be at least how many exchanges? 5 exchanges, that means 10 dialogues, and those exchanges should possess some polite expressions. Sure, certainly, sorry, thank you, it's all right, okay, hi, hello, how are you? These are some of the polite expressions. Okay, how do you do? That's great, you are right. So, like spontaneous polite expressions, you have to write a conversation. Okay. So, this is the context. The conversation is between Jainul-Abidin, Kalam's father, and Kalam's mother. The context is, one is willing to send Kalam away from home, the other one is not willing to send Kalam away from home. How the conversation goes? We can imagine. So, Jainul-Abidin comes home and he sees Ashiamma not in a good mood. He asks, hello Ashiamma, why do you look so sad? Ashiamma says, yes, I am sad because you wanted to send my son away from home. Now, Jainul-Abidin says, please think Ashiamma, why I am sending Kalam away from home? Ashiamma says, I do not want to listen to your words, I want my son stay at home. Like this, you can continue your conversation. Okay. So, basing on the situation, I have prepared a conversation. Look at the conversation. I have started this conversation abruptly. Why? Because the situation is abrupt. So, you can begin formally, hello, good morning, how are you, how do you do, what are you doing, why are you so sad, like this also you can begin. Okay. Remember, you are free to make use of your own expressions while making conversations. The name of this question is creative expression, that means it tests your creativity, okay, not any syllabus from our textbooks. You can make use of your own expressions, but you should use them relevantly. They should be very formal. So, these are the two things that you should keep in your mind while you are writing your conversations: relevant and then formal, relevant to the given context. Okay. Now, look at the conversation I have given. So, I have started the conversation with Ashiamma. Ashiamma, Jainul-Abidin came home. Ashiamma, she is not willing, as we all know, she is very unhappy and her words reflects her unhappiness. Okay. What is the dialogue of Ashiamma? So, you have decided to send Kalam to Ramanathapuram. So, that is the dialogue. So, she is saying it, she is saying this in a unhappy note. Okay. So, you have decided to send Kalam to Ramanathapuram. In a complaint tone, she is talking to her husband. Okay. Ashiamma is saying. And one more thing here, children, after the names of the characters between whom you are writing the conversation, the punctuation mark is also very important. Many of you put colon and dash, okay, but here what you have to use, only colon. Remember that thing. Of course, we do ignore this thing, but the thing you have to use while writing conversation, the punctuation mark you have to use after the name of the character is colon, not colon and dash. Okay. So, first dialogue is Ashiamma dialogue. What is Ashiamma saying? So, you have decided to send Kalam to Ramanathapuram. So, she is saying that. Now, what is the reply given by Jainul-Abidin? It is not me, Ashiamma. That means, it is not me who decided to send Kalam away from home. It is his own decision. He wanted to pursue his education. That is what he means. Okay. It is not me, Ashiamma. It is Kalam's wish to go to continue his studies. It is Kalam's wish. That is what he is saying. It is not me, Ashiamma. It is Kalam's wish to go to continue his studies. Go and continue his studies. You can change your dialogues, you can write simple dialogues, you can write lengthy dialogues, but they should be relevant and appropriate to the situation, that is context. Okay. Right. Now, Ashiamma, I do not want Kalam to leave Rameswaram. She is saying what is there in her heart. I do not want Kalam to leave Rameswaram, that is what she says. Okay. I do not want Kalam to leave Rameswaram. Kalam should stay at home, that is what she wanted to say. I do not want Kalam to leave Rameswaram. Now Jainabdin, please try to understand. It's good for Kalam. Please try Ashiyamma. Please try to understand. It's good for Kalam. What is good for Kalam? Going away from Rameswaram for higher study is good for Kalam. That's what he intends to say. Now Ashiyamma, I don't know. I want my son to stay with me at home. That's what she is very stubborn. I don't know, whatever you say. I just want my son to stay at home, that's all. I don't want my son to go away from home. Okay, that's what Ashiyamma is saying. Now Jayanlabdin, don't be stubborn Ashiyamma. He will come back home after the completion of his studies. Don't be stubborn Ashiyamma. Stubborn means listen Ashiyamma. Try to understand the situation. Kalam is going only to complete his education. After the completion of his education, he will come back. That's what he is. That means he is trying to convince Ashiyamma. Okay. So look at the dialogues. How many exchanges here you have? Exchange means 2 dialogues between Ashiyamma and Jayanlabdin. So how many exchanges we have? 1, 2, 3 exchanges. Okay. How many minimum exchanges we must have? We must have 5 minimum exchanges in a 5 marks conversation question. Okay. So that means I need at least 2 more exchanges to finish this conversation. Don't confine yourself to only 5 exchanges. You can write any number of exchanges, but the minimum number of exchanges in a conversation in the examination is 5. Okay, right. So I am reading the dialogues once again. Ashiyamma, so you have decided to send Kalam to Ramanathapuram. It's not me Ashiyamma, it's Kalam's wish to go to continue his studies. I don't want Kalam to leave Rameswaram. Please try to understand. It's good for Kalam. I don't know. I want my son to stay with me at home. Don't be stubborn Ashiyamma. He will come back home after the completion of his studies. Okay. Now let us continue this conversation. Now Ashiyamma is saying, being a mother, I can't convince myself. Okay, I understand what you intends to say, but being a mother, I can't convince myself. That's what her problem is. Yes, being a mother, I can't convince myself. I can't leaving my son. That's what she intends to say to her husband. Now Jayanlabdin, that's quite natural, but think of Kalam's future. Yes, I can understand your problem Ashiyamma. You are a mother. No mother wants to leaving their their son, but that's quite natural. Your feeling is quite natural, but what about Kalam's future? If he stay here, what will happen to his future? So without education he is not going to become a great man. We want him to become a great man. So if you want him to become a great man, we must send him away from home for his higher studies. So we must let him pursue his education. So that's how he is trying to convince Ashiyamma. Okay. Now Ashiyamma is saying, what is Ashiyamma saying? Why don't he continue his studies here in Rameswaram? Innocently she is asking. That means she doesn't know that there is no college study there in Rameswaram. That's why she has asked this question. This is imaginative. Remember that actually this is not a real thing. I don't know whether there is a high school or not at that time, but I have imagined a situation and I have written this conversation. So like this, you have to imagine situations and you have to create some dialogues based on the given context in the examination also. Okay, think of the context and then think of the dialogues and put them in an appropriate manner, in a proper way, then you will definitely get a good conversation. Okay. So Ashiyamma here is saying that why don't he continue his studies here in Rameswaram? Then Jayanlabdin is saying, that's not possible Ashiyamma. There is no college here. Okay. So he is convincing very patiently. We all know how good he is. Okay. He is very patiently trying to convince. There is no college here. Listen carefully. You can give him your love, but not your thoughts. Let him go. So very patiently he made a point here. There is no college here Ashiyamma. So what you said I understood, but there is no college here. Listen carefully. That means he is giving just like a warning like man, he is saying, okay, listen carefully. You can give him your love, but not your thoughts. Let him go. That means he gave a clear statement. Okay. Then when he made such a clear statement, what can Ashiyamma do? Nothing. So she agreed. Okay, I do agree, but it will take some time for me to accept this. Okay, and you are saying so much about that, about his future, but my heart is not willing, but anyway, as you are saying it, I would like to convince myself. Okay, I do agree, but it will take some time for me to accept this. That means unwillingly, reluctantly, she is agreeing to the proposal her husband made to send Kalam away from home for higher studies. Okay, so that's how I concluded. So I wanted to conclude. I came to conclusion using this dialogue. Okay, so you have to begin the conversation and you have to conclude it. So beginning as well as conclusion and development of conversation is very important. So I have started abruptly the conversation and I have ended in a successful, that means in a comprehensive manner. I am going to conclude it in a comprehensive manner. Okay, so she said, okay, I do agree, but it will take some time for me to accept this. Then Jainluddin, that's a good mother. Kalam will feel very happy to hear this. Thank you. Okay, right. So this is how I concluded this conversation. Okay, like this you can make your own conversation. This is one model I provided you. Don't think that this is the only model. You can write your own conversation. You can make your own dialogues. Okay, children. So this is creative expression. So this is the conversation between Ashiamma and Jainluddin basing on the given context. Okay, so very easy. And you will definitely enjoy if you start writing conversations like this. You will definitely start enjoying. Okay, so start writing conversations and don't write by heart conversations. Write your own dialogues and prepare your own conversations and get them corrected by your teachers, and then definitely you will enjoy writing conversations. So I would like to provide you some context for providing your own conversations, for writing your own conversations. So out of the units we have for this academic year, I have prepared some important situations for writing conversations. Look at them. So the first one is conversation between Nick Vujicic and Bethany Hamilton. Can you write? Very easy. Both are strangers. When we want to write a conversation between strangers, we can easily begin. We can very easily begin the conversation. Hello, good morning, very good morning. My name is, first of all, you have to introduce ourselves. I am so and so, I am Nick Vujicic. Okay, that's nice to hear. My name is Bethany Hamilton. What can I do for you? And I want to learn surfing from you. Like that you can write your own dialogues. Okay, so the first one for your practice is the conversation between Nick Vujicic and Bethany Hamilton. This is from first unit. And from second unit I have picked up the conversation between Abel Merriweather and Tattersall. So this is from second unit. Okay, Abel Merriweather and Tattersall. How do you begin the conversation? Beginning of a conversation is very important. If you begin on a proper note, you will definitely get dialogues. Okay, so how we can begin this conversation? So Tattersall will find Abel Merriweather in a sad note. He will ask, why do you look very sad, Tattersall? Why do you look very sad, Abel Merriweather? Then Abel Merriweather says, today my two daughters hurt me. What happened? And Abel Merriweather says, they thought I was dead while I was asleep and they started sharing my objects. Then Tattersall says, oh God. So like that you can make a conversation. Okay, and then third one, conversation between the narrator and his father at Dirang bus station. Okay, at Dirang bus station. At Dirang bus station, his father wanted a pair of old shoes from the narrator, from the journey lesson. Okay, so how can we start this conversation? Fathers, we can begin with father's dialogue. Son, do you have a pair of old shoes? The narrator says, yes, I have, but why do you want it? I want to take your old shoes. Why? What happened? It hurts while walking on the rocks. Okay, like that you can make the conversation. You can make your own dialogues. Conversation between Wangari Maathai and African women. Okay, so this is one more interesting situation where you can make many dialogues. Okay, and the next one is conversation between Abdul Kalam and Shiva Subramanya Iyer. You know, Shiva Subramanya Iyer is the science teacher who thought Abdul Kalam. Actually, he inspired Abdul Kalam very much. Okay, so you can also write a conversation basing on this context also. So these are some of the context we can take from our textbook. Now I would like to give you a homework for you. Look at the screen. This is homework for you. Imagine that you are Ramanatha Shastri who witnessed the humiliation done to Kalam in the classroom. Okay, what was the humiliation done to Kalam? He was asked to go and sit in the back row. Okay, right. So that was the humiliation. So you saw you are his friend, Kalam's friend, Ramanatha Shastri, and go and report this to your father, that is Lakshmana Shastri. So try to make conversation. This is the homework for you. Okay, right, children. Okay, children, hope you understood what functional English is, what is the importance of polite forms in English, and how we have to use them in our day-to-day life, and how we can use all this knowledge in our examination point of view for getting marks also. Okay, and I would like to conclude thanking all our state officials and Doordarshan officials for giving me this opportunity. Okay, children, I would like to end up this class wishing you all in advance a very happy New Year 2021. Thank you very much.
మా కార్యక్రమంపై మీ అభిప్రాయాలు తెలియజేయగలరు. యూట్యూబ్ www.youtube.com/c/dd Saptagiri.
స్క్రీన్ మీద కనబడుతున్న క్యూఆర్ కోడ్ ని స్కాన్ చేయడం ద్వారా డిడి సప్తగిరి యూట్యూబ్ ఛానల్ ని వీక్షించగలరు. మరిన్ని అప్డేట్స్ కోసం డిడి సప్తగిరి యూట్యూబ్ ఛానల్ ని సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేసుకోండి.
ఈమెయిల్ ddSaptagiri@gmail.com. ఫేస్బుక్ www.facebook.com/dd Saptagiri. ట్విట్టర్ twitter.com/dd Saptagiri VJA. ఇన్స్టాగ్రామ్ www.instagram.com/dd Saptagiri.
Thank you.